Right, timer set, 10 minutes. This video, you just clicked on it, is how do you actually start a marketing agency when you're already in a 9 to 5 job? So, come on, mate, let's chew the shit. How do we do it? Oh, and actually, for the record, like we've both done this. So,
Yeah.
kind of yours, probably not as much as me, but I was in a 9 to 5 and started my digital marketing agency back in 2018. So,
I actually think, mate, we do this from good angles because you did it with job, and obviously I started mine when I was still at school. So I can kind of cater to the people doing this at
yeah.
uni, at school, and you can do it and there'll be loads of people that are doing both, uni, job, and just really it's just how to do this, how to start this as a side hustle and move it into your main career.
Yeah, well, first of all, you need to understand that if you're in a working job, you can you're in a say you're in a 9 to 5. And when we say 9 to 5, I know it won't be actually 9 to 5. Some people will be working night shifts, day shifts, working in Starbucks, McDonald's, warehouse, whatever it will be. But we're talking about when you're preoccupied with the chunk of your day with working another job. So how do you start a marketing agency? Well, the key thing there is utilizing all your time outside of the job. So forget the job. And let's be honest, when you're working for another company, you do have to work. Otherwise, you'll get into a whole bunch of problems. So, you don't want to get fired, which, I was fired, but not for that reason. But you just don't want to get into trouble. So the key thing is look at your life outside of the 9 to 5, mate, isn't it? Me and you are not big ones for you, I can't even hear you speak.
Mate, can you hear me
Oh, no,
now?
no,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah. Harry does a
Yeah.
thing. He
No, I
pretends
agree,
to.
mate. I think
Yeah,
analyzing your day. And I think that's so important. Like if you're, like you said, where it's 9 to 5 and you find a 2 hour pocket in the evening and you can get up earlier or you can do this, just analyze your day of what time you've got available and then kind of build a game plan around that time.
yeah,
For example, I used to wake up at 5:30 and do a lot of the service delivery, do my shit in the day, and then and then do the cold calling at a time that I could. And I think just shifting your routine around to make time for it is really important. And I think lots of people ask me on the live calls on YouTube, especially, they always say, right, I've only got 4 hours in a day. How do I go about, or how achievable is 3, 4, 5 grand a month? And I always say it's incredibly achievable, but you need to be very structured, consistent, and keep yourself accountable with the times that you've got available and the tasks that you need to get done in each of those time frames. For example, to get your agency off the ground, it's the same rule whether you're in a 9 to 5 or you're not in a 9 to 5 and you've got 12 hours in a day. Every waking hour needs to be done on sales because that's the only needle mover in the business. There's no point you having 4 hours in a day and you're spending 2 hours on your website, 2 hours producing fucking content on Instagram that gets 100 views. That's a waste of your time. If I was in your position, I wouldn't do any of that shit. I'd obviously make sure my agency's set up and I've got domain and stuff, but every waking hour that you make needs to be cold calling. So then it's a question of how can I make myself available in times that cold calling is possible? For example, if I'm waking up at 5 a.m., I'm not going to be able to cold call businesses at fucking 5 a.m., am I? However, if I'm available 5 till 7 in the evenings or 7 till 9 in the evenings, I can get a Go High Level account, cold call the East Coast or West Coast of America, and those are in the time frames of 9 to 5. So then you're
yeah.
like, so you're utilizing the time difference there, which is the
Now
main
we're
benefit.
talking.
It's the main benefit of having a social media marketing agency where you can work in business, where you can work with businesses anywhere on the planet, which is what we do. 50% of our clients are on the East Coast of America. Utilize that time difference. So it's not like people think, oh, I'm in 9 to 5, like just use it to your advantage. Like you're now going to be able to cold call for 2 hours every evening to the East Coast and West Coast of America and pick up clients there. So then when you sign them, all of your client connection calls where you're updating them and stuff will happen in those same time periods as well. And then what you can do, because you need to have 2 hours a day of cold calling to really get your business off the ground, to get through like 50 cold calls a day, then the question is, well, when am I going to have time to do the actual service delivery? So that's when you need to find a new pocket of time of, say, getting up 2 hours earlier and working from 5:30 till 7:30 before you go to work and do the service delivery. Or if you got, or I know lots of people commute on the train, on your commute in for an hour and a half or an hour into London or New York, wherever you go, do your service delivery on the train, get some ads up, do some emails and stuff like that. So it's just finding these pockets and doing like a day audit of what time you've got available and what jobs need to be done and matching it to those time pockets.
Yeah, completely agree. Like that's such a fucking good bit of advice, mate, because you know, if you're in a warehouse, if you're working warehouse or even night shifts, there'd be when you finish, it's that time that you want to just go, right, I'm not going to get, and this is, let's call this out. Like you don't want to get on Netflix and start watching stuff. You don't want to get on Instagram and start getting caught into feeds, into reels, or go on TikTok and just get into a TikTok fucking wormhole. You know, you need to get off those things and go, right, laptop open, computer open. What am I doing? And actually, let's be honest about it, mate. Like, you only need, bear in mind how lucrative having a marketing agency is. Like, and you can make fantastic money from it and work much less hours from wherever you are. So it's so appealing. You only need to get, when we're talking about, oh, you've got to do the service delivery, that's when you've won a client and they've paid you. They've paid you some money for it. If you've got 3 clients who are paying you $1,000, pounds, euros, whatever a month, unless you've got an outstanding 9 till 5 where you're achieving like 100K a year salary, like you should be in a position where you can go, I just want a part-time job now.
Yeah, mate, we've got Tom in the academy. He's got
Yeah.
a fairly, I'd say, quite a demanding job, 60 grand a year. I know it's like he's like,
You got probably a 90K a year job. We won't give his surname away, but yeah, he's on the he's a 90K a year job. He's got all the benefits and perks of a job, but he's one of our academy students. He's been with us not from the start. Actually, he hasn't been with us that long, has he? No,
he's been with you from the start, as in your journey, but
he's been
not
with you.
yeah.
Yeah,
In the academy, he's the person I put on the story. He's now making £3,500. Actually, no, it's more than that because he signed another one.
yeah.
He's got to be in the fours. I think it's like four three.
He said something like, "Oh fuck, I think I'm gonna have to quit my job now."
Yeah.
And he is gonna have to quit his job, which is like, but actually, let's just scale that even back further. If you're earning 20, the average salary in the UK is something like 22,000 a year, right? It's the average salary. Let's say you are working in these jobs where you want to get out, like you don't need many clients, just winning 3. So when Harry says, "Oh, you got to do the service delivery," you really, that's an evening's work, 2 evenings work to get the service up and running, and it's not going to overwhelm you. I promise you, it's really not. We've done it. So if you're in a 9 to 5, how long do we have left on the timer?
2 minutes.
Yes, if you're in a 9 to 5, any spare time you have after work, before work, if it is after work, and you want to make cold calls and everyone else is closed, think about whether you can call those businesses on the weekend. Think about whether you can go in person in the evening or on your way home or on the weekend. Don't just get fucking smashed on a Friday night and then be hungover Saturday and hungover Sunday because you were out Saturday too, and then think, well, I can't start I can't start my business. You've got to. You take Gary Vee, Tony Robbins, Russell Brunson, all these people in our industry, they will say every piece of energy you have outside of what you're doing needs to go into something new. You need to you need to hustle the fuck out of it.
Yeah, and we're not these people that just say never have fun. We're not saying like become fucking absolute bookworms. We're not saying that.
It's having your priorities straight.
Yeah, it's like, because we have fun, mate. We have loads of fun. It's just like if you're trying to get your business off the ground and you're moaning that you want to make an extra couple of £1,000 a month, just for at least like 3 months, just try and like decrease it a little bit so you have time to focus. And I think what was the actual title of this video again?
It was how to start a marketing agency whilst you're working a 9 to 5.
Yeah, I think if you're doing that, what you can't expect to do is get home from work, sit on your laptop and send Instagram DMs while you're watching Netflix and expect to sign clients. That's just not going to happen. It really isn't going to happen. You're going to have to be doing that. You're going to have to be doing that like 2,000 messages a day, constant follow-up. It's just, you're not going to get anywhere. Like, so if you're expecting to do this just sat behind your laptop and doing it here and there, it's not going to happen. SMMA is not that type of business model. It's not the same way people talk about Forex and dropshipping. That's not what SMMA is. This is a real business, like where you have to actually turn up. It's almost like, it will be like having a second job. But good for you is that this second job's going to pay you fucking 50x what your 9 to 5 pays you. So it's a trade-off, but you just have, it's like, really, it's just work fucking hard for 3 months and prioritize your time better.
Yeah, and just, you know, exactly. Well said. How long's on timer?
That's it, mate.
3, 2, 1. Done. Well, look, listen, like and subscribe. This podcast is obviously video based on YouTube. If you're listening to the audio, it's on Apple. What's it on?
Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon, fucking all of them.
And subscribe, please subscribe. Like, we take our time out of our day to fucking give you this shit for free. And then leave a comment. Please keep it positive. Don't be that troll. We don't like it. And yeah, just let us know how you're getting on with your journey. I think it's really important people share where they're at. I don't want people thinking that you can't start a marketing agency anymore. It's all been done. It's old hat. Anything to the contrary on that. I cannot tell you that if you are focused, driven, and you've learned the right way, and you've got the right tenacity, you can start a marketing agency and you can make really, really good money in a short space of time. That is and you can have a very, very nice business that is all yours. You can own the entire thing yourself and expand it. So doable. It's
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, hope you enjoyed, guys. Subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow at 9 AM.